Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial, and today's review will be the BMF series, episode 4. Let's get into it. So this episode was another decent one, and they definitely they hitting all the marks with this series. Everybody is tuned in. I haven't heard not one person not like this series. If Big Meech is able to watch this series, I know he's proud of his son. Watching his son play him, I know without just, he's doing so well of a job. For anybody that don't know who actually Big Meech is, or it's very believable that that's him. And the fact that he looks like him, it's very believable that's him right there. His son, Little Meech, is doing a phenomenal job playing his dad. And if he's sitting back watching this, I know he's sitting there like, man, because I think he's been in jail since Little Meech was about 7 years old or something like that. And to sit back and watch him being an influence on him from afar and watch where he's grown into, he's sitting back like a proud father. Nevertheless, let's get into the episode. So you got Meech and T want to branch out. They want to get from underneath Pat, and they're focused on getting a new connect. T was saying, saying they should go another way. Meech was pretty much nah. So Meech always want to do what Meech want to do, or whatever. So Terry kind of just followed suit. When Terry was pretty much, in the beginning when he said, Terry, with your vision, no, with your brains and my vision, we could run it. But what happens is it comes with a back and forth, compromising with each other. So pretty much it's showing Meech pretty much want to do what he want to do. Terry pretty much is saying we should go the other way. They went Meech way. So what they did was when Meech went and approached Pat, telling them that they want to get 3 bricks up front and they want to pay for it, they don't want to front it. Pretty much Pat said, nah, I'm going to give y'all 1 brick and then give y'all a couple rocks. And they like, nah, we need whatever, and we ain't trying to get fronted for nothing. We want to buy ours basically wholesale. So Pat pretty much checked them, and so Pat's right hand man pretty much pulled Meech in the stash to get the weight, and it shows how he had the stash packed in tie boxes or whatever. So people got to keep in mind this is in the I think they're still in the 80s or at least the early 90s, but I think it's the late 80s, where they're not up on things with the whole drug things, in a lot of areas don't have strong task force to attack the drug area. So that's why it seems like when modern day people is watching this, they like how they was able to move like that so freely or whatever, but they were. So his past right hand man pretty much told him like, basically, I could get y'all a side connect. And Meech was like, all right. So he tell Terry what it is, basically saying Pat is getting high off his supply, or he don't got the weight that they think he got. Either or, they need to still branch out. Terry's pretty much saying we need to do our own thing. Meanwhile, they're focused on making the moves. What's happening on the back end with the police, they're on trying to crack down who's who. So the cop is there to try to throw them off and Meech and them trail. They are focusing on Lamar, but they focus on both sides. He pretty much saying Demetrius Flannery is not nobody. He just, saying he not into that drug stuff and all that. Meanwhile, they're pretty much saying y'all need to reach out to our resources and dig. So of course this is where they go and they find the body of J-Mo or whatever. So on Lamar's end, Lamar's rallying up the troops. He's pretty much got everybody behind him. He's running the camp again, and he's at the store buying everybody's sneakers, and he want them to be uniform. Everybody wear a certain pair while he wear a different pair. Meanwhile, Terry is getting ready for a christening with his girl, child, his sister. I don't know who that other little kid was, or whatever. And they in the store, sneaker store, and Lamar and them seeing they roll up on Terry. And so when they roll up on Terry's little sister and his baby mom roll up. And so, of course, Lamar, he got a daughter himself, so he kind of looked like, okay, we're going to fall back on that. So he counted some money out and threw it at Terry, pretty much said, here, diapers on me and stuff like that. And so they stepped off, and then Terry said, we out of here. So they got a Christian coming up. So now you also see Terry is in, the pastor hooked him up with his niece, pastor played by Snoop Dogg. And I keep trying to say, can I look past and see it's another actor and it's not Snoop Dogg? Snoop Dogg doing an okay job or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't know that was Snoop Dogg, you know what I'm saying? He doing an okay job or whatever. But nevertheless, the pastor hooked him up with a lawyer, and the lawyer want to sue the hospital for malpractice. And they're going over that. And basically they're saying, we're going to fight for you. So the dad left the house in the last episode. Terry's pretty much telling them, we a family. It'd be good for you to come to the Christian for the baby or whatever. And get out, stop being stubborn and get out your own way. Meanwhile, show Meech go out somewhere far. Wherever he is, he has a kid out there. And he's taking care of the kid, sending the kid money, and the baby mom. Of course, she come in there and she pretty much, you know, she live with her mom. The mom's not home. She want to get busy. Basically telling him, you know what you came here for or whatever. And they go get busy, whatever. That's that. Meanwhile, they go try to meet the Connect. And they go to a membership only club. They get shunned away. Get sent to the back door. Get grabbed up in the van. When they come out of the van, it's nighttime. It's Terry. So while they're focused on all that, you find out that Lamar's working on, he goes to the food truck, makes it bad for business. They shut down the food truck. Hoop is there because B. Mickey has been missing. So Hoop is there with Kato. And so they shut the food truck down. The next day that they show up, they gooned up. They got all their goons at the food truck. Meanwhile, Hoop is thinking like, well, if we all here, this is just a distraction. Nobody's there to watch the stash house or whatever. So he dips to the stash house. Meanwhile, it sees Kato looking on. So she tried to tell him don't go. So you already knew what the play is. Kato then told them how they moving with the food trucks and how they pretty much moving with the where the stash house was. Now, one part I forgot, it was a moment when they was at the bar. So it also shows like Terry is like focused on business. So they had a bar waiting, they getting stood up for a Connect. And Meech instantly, he see the girls, he ready to go party and stuff like that. T is telling him, man, you always trying to party. So it's really speaking to how what Meech is known to be, partying, having fun or whatever. And so Terry's kind of really focused on the business. And so some woman is pushing up on Terry like, you buying rounds at the bar too? And then Terry said, nah. And then she was like, well, what you say your name was again? And Terry said, I didn't. And he stepped off and left or whatever. So she automatically came off with, she an undercover, you know, something like that. So that's what you automatically think at the time. So they step off. Now back forward, back to Kato. She try to stop Hoop from going. Hoop shows up to where the stash house is. While he going in, he instantly see it's ransacked. He got his gun pulled. Somebody's still in the house. They got the bag of stash, and he gets to shoot him on the leg. But as he's rolling out to follow him out the back, Lamar pulls up with a semi-automatic gun, catches Hoop at the shoulder. So now he's on his way in the house. Gary make his way in to finish Hoop off, but then Kato comes out of nowhere and shoot or whatever. So Lamar dips and they dip in the car. So the stash house been hit. Meanwhile, it showed Meech and Pat. They find out when they get out, they think they with the connect. It's Pat, and Pat pretty much telling them like, what y'all look like going behind my back. And so Meech stepped up and said, basically, it's all on me. Leave Terry out of this, you know what I'm saying? You got us playing like a, you know, saying like a yo-yo, and, you know, we ready to move up. And so Pat was pretty much like, you know what? I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all did what y'all had to do. But this one, he messed up. So his right-hand man, he clocked him in the head and just, you know, pretty much beat him down with the shovel, killed him. And then he told Meech and T to get rid of the body. So they buried him. So meanwhile, after they buried him, T and Meech walking back, and Meech pretty much telling T, like, you know what I mean, it's not on you. Like, I meant what I said, it's not on you, that's all on me. And so Terry was like, man, stop trying to solve this big brother stuff. Basically, it's us. So they meet up with B, Mickey, and Hoop, and they pretty much Meech is pissed, because he like, yo, B, Mickey, we been trying to holler at you for the last couple of days. What's up? You ain't hitting us back in that. B, Mickey said, I've been in the hospital with my mom's going through whatever. Pretty much Meech said he don't care nothing about that. So he pissed. So he hits B, Mickey. They gotta get into it. Everybody break it up. But you can see it's always been some friction with B, Mickey, and Meech. So you don't know where that's really gonna go. Looks like it's gonna go south, but nevertheless, they saying who would have known about the stash. It was only 5 of us that knew, and them 4 is there. So instantly, Hoop is like, nah, it ain't Kato. She saved my life. Meech is instantly saying it's Kato. So he already had a problem with her or whatever. So B, Mickey, you know, he liked Kato, so he like pretty much like, nah, I don't think it's her. Then who then? You know what I mean? So they all step off, bounce. Meanwhile, Kato comes home. Lamar is waiting at the crib for her in a cut. So he pretty much put the gun to her and basically said he ain't kill her because her father was thorough back in the day. And he's like, yo, you were gonna ever pull a gun up, shoot at me ever again. And she pretty much said, I gotta earn their trust. And so, you know, to get more information for you or whatever. She's like, I gave you the stash house and to play at the food trucks or whatever. So he let her live. Meanwhile, I show up where B, Mickey is, where he's on night watch. So she instantly come in and she kissing on him. So now before, she said she'd never want to mess with nobody in the crew. She know he thinking with his other head instead of his main head, and he not even peeping the play right now, so we don't think. And so, of course, he gonna go in. He wanna clap them cheeks. So that's what it is. He go do his 1-2. So you see the play happen with that. That if you get him behind you, they never gonna see you coming because he gonna always be there to defend you. So from there, it shows Lamar saying a story about the big bad wolf and the 3 little pigs, how the wolf took over. And then the daughter is saying, well, the pigs, you know, they cooked the wolf. And he pretty much is like, nah, in my story, the wolf get the pigs or whatever. So it's showing with that. Show Mo pretty much, she mushy over it. He got Mo a necklace or whatever, and he tried to push up on her, and she was like, nah, that ain't cool. He's like, all right, no pressure. He's about to step off, but then Mo, she, you know, impulsive, jumped in his arms and everything. So Mar clapped them cash doll cheeks. You feel me? He clapped them cash doll cheeks, and you know, that was that. Next scene, what went on? The Christian happened. At the Christian, T was having flashbacks of watching Pat right hand man get killed while his baby was greeting Christian. Out front of the Christian, you see the cops roll up and pretty much saying Meech, they need to see him. And the Meech pretty much said he respectfully declined and stepped off. Pretty much he know what it is with that cop or whatever. So meanwhile, I showed the dad looking across the street, looking at the Mercedes Benz of Meech and Terry. So you know he ain't his feelings with that. So he said, I ain't gonna be at dinner. So they stepped off. And it showed Meech show up at the cop house, pretty much telling them, yo, what's up? What you doing fronting on me? He pretty much said they found J-Mo or whatever. And now, you know, you done brought a bunch of heat on me or whatever. So he like, I didn't do that to him. Last time I seen him, he was alive. And so Meech brought him a bag of money and pretty much told him, just for your trouble. He was like, nah, I don't want your money. We done. And so Meech pretty much told him, nah, we ain't done. You need me as much as I need you. And put the money in his mailbox and then stepped off. Or whatever. So he stepped off there. So how this episode ends, and if you also seen the backstory, Meech's baby mom that he went to go see, it showed the shirt she had on was like Wayman State. She was in college. And what it's going to show is her brother, who her brother gets linked with Meech too eventually. He's the one that's on the DJ Vlad interview videos talking about the whole story and everything. So nevertheless, the episode pretty much ends where it has Terry parking somewhere. He gary walk away, and someone else pulls up in a Mercedes coupe, and it's the girl he seen at the bar. And so Terry was like, "What, you stalking me?" And then she pretty much get out. She said something like that or whatever. She pretty much tell him like, your word checks out. I want to do business with you. So he was like, "You Big L?" And she was like, "Yeah." And so she was like, pretty much, going forward, if you want to do business, I only want to do business with you. Because she look at Meech as a problem. You know what I mean? She know with him always want to be having fun, and with girls, that's going to be a problem. That's what she looking at. I guess that's why she chose Terry. He looks like more of the more disciplined one or whatever. So she asked if that's going to be a problem. Terry had to look like, oh man, you know, he don't want to exclude his brother, but in the same regard, this is about business. So he said, nah, it's not going to be a problem. And so it had Meech narrating in the back, pretty much saying, you know what I mean, the same thing that I was ready to do with Pat, my brother was ready to do with me. So, you know, that was the connect. So that was the end of the episode. Another good episode. Subscribe to the channel. Definitely like this video. Till next time.